Me and some other guys, we were surfing here. This is the whole area where we surf. And as you can see, over there, the hill, it's the border with Lebanon. So basically, when the missiles came, they came over from the hill and straight into the water and into town. The concrete, you see all the holes here, the windows and all the building was with hose, big hose. Today, I'm raising 2 kids. I don't want them to know no missiles, no war. I want them to grow up to something nice, quiet, a different life.
Shaping a surfboard. I think it's a good metaphor to how the Jewish people are. Because when I shape a board, I get a raw blank, which is it's hard. You need like a big planer first to go through the shell. When you go more inside the board, you want to make it delicate and gentle. So I think it's relevant to the Jewish people. They are hard as a shell from the outside, but as you get to know them, they are like gentle and they have a very good and big heart.
My grandfathers, they were escaped from East Europe just before the Holocaust. And the rest of my family that stays, they got killed by the Nazis.
My grandparents from my mother's side, they travel with camels for like a few months to get here, to the promised land.
People came from different places in the world, from the Middle East area or Europe, South America, and everyone has the same connection.
It was the safest place for them to come. This was like their home. It was meant to be their home, and this is the only place that all Jewish.
They were only 14 and 15 kids. They wanted to come and build Israel. Still, it's hard for me today to really understand what is the meaning to leave everything and go to a different country and start from zero.
You have Jews out of Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, you know. You have Jews even like out of Ethiopia coming here. It's pretty cool, you know, setting down in one land.
This is the only place the Jewish people got, it's Israel.
I think it's Arab land. لأرضنا الفلسطينية. לא הייתי הולך. כי אם אני אעשה את זה, ועוד אחד יעשה את זה, ועוד אחד, ועוד אחד, לא נשאר פה.
If I'm gonna move out of Israel, and my buddy's gonna move out from Israel, and the other guy gonna move out, who's gonna stay in Israel? I hope that will be peace in the Middle East. I hope.
My name is Todd Morehead. I am from Laguna Niguel, California. It's home to me. I've grown up here my whole life. I love the ocean, so it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. I have to be next to the ocean.
Todd as a kid was a lot of fun, and he was very busy, and he was a daredevil. And if you wanted to find out where trouble was, you looked for Todd.
I started surfing when I was 4 years old and gradually dumped the boogie board, and basically about 9 years old I just full board surf all the time.
Every afternoon I would drive Todd and his brother Tyler to Salt Creek so they could surf.
I think they sort of epitomized what it was to be like a grommet at Salt Creek. They loved like sort of bigger, hollower, sort of dumpy waves, and they were both great surfers.
When I was 12 years old, I started competing. All I could think about is one day being a pro surfer. That was my whole mentality. If I couldn't be a pro surfer, I didn't know what else I'd want to do, you know?
Professional surfing is a really difficult career path because there's so many people that want to be involved in it, especially I think in Southern California where you've got so many good surfers. When you've got 15 minutes and you've got to put surfing together, it puts a lot of pressure. And so I think for Todd, it just didn't work real well for his mindset.
It was a hard road. Like, I just didn't do very well in heats. I couldn't really put it together.
I mean, he still loved surfing, but he just didn't have that desire to be a pro surfer any longer. He decided to go to school and go in a different direction.
Todd was always a really passionate Christian, and so I always saw that in his life.
Started with the sea, stronger than the wildest heart.
I noticed this sort of passion for traveling as a surfer. You know, he saw it and he was like, I want to do these things, you know? And then as a Christian, he had these other things, and they ultimately combined in this amazing sort of project.
I found myself working for different Christian organizations, not only doing ministry, but also surfing, which took me around the world. I've been able to go all over the world surfing, but Israel keeps coming to the forefront of my mind. It's one of the deepest desires in my heart to be there and to spend time with my friends there, and I just want to keep coming back. My wife Renee and I have been going to Israel for about the last 4 years together. We go there to refurbish bomb shelters in the north, where there's a constant threat of rocket attacks from Lebanon. Renee and I lead teams of people who want to go over and physically work on the shelter, clean, paint, texture, and do some of the grunt work for these people who need a clean, comfortable place to go during the next war. As Christians, God calls us to love the Jews. And because of our love for Israel, we want to go help them. And if that means to help them in a physical way with a bomb shelter, then we're glad to do it. Hani and I first met about 6 years ago. I brought a group of friends to go surf and to tour the Holy Land and see all the sights. And we were surfing his local beach.
First time I met Todd was surfing at the Morehead. I saw him on a couple of waves and I was like, who is this guy? I mean, he surfs good. And it was sunny that day, so his hair was shining.
What I've learned from my friendship with Hani is the value of people and the value of friendships. He always puts relationships first. People are more important to Hani than anything else.
I don't know, there's something about him. Something very pure, very good. You get a big ability to give. And I think it's very neat to see people like that these days when everybody's just taking care for themselves.
I know his family, I know his dad, and he knows my family. We're pretty close.
Growing up as a kid, surfing in Israel, for me it was tough because I was the only surfer from my neighborhood, and surfing wasn't that popular. I used to walk from my parents' house to the ocean, but it feels like 25, half an hour, minutes walk. And if there is any waves, stay there and surf. If there is no waves, go back home. I got into shaping at a factory in Israel after I finished the army. Working ding repairs, sanding boards, laminating. Since I was a kid, my dream was to be a shaper. When I wanted to start shaping, I wasn't that supported. I was like kind of discouraged to do that. At the winter, I came to California. I met a guy, he helped me out a lot with my shaping, an Australian guy. His name is Michael Andrews. I came back after being in California, and that was the time that I really decided like I should start shaping.
I went to a surf shop to buy a fin with a surfboard, and then I met Hani, who's my best friend, lover, and shaper, and he actually taught me how to surf.
ואני מרוצה מזה שהתחיל לעשות את העסק שלו, שהוא רצה לעבוד בזה, וברוך השם הכל הסתדר והתחיל לעבוד איתו.
How are you?
I continue to go to Israel year after year, and I continue to hang out with Hani and Hani's wife. Before Israel became a sovereign nation, the UN adopted a plan to divide Palestine into two states, one Jewish, one Arab. The Jewish leadership agreed to this plan, but the Arab leaders rejected it and threatened war if it was adopted. In 1948, Israel declared independence, and 5 Arab nations immediately attacked the newly born state. Miraculously, Israel won the war. Because of the conflict, 800,000 Jews were displaced from their homes in the Arab nations and came to live in Israel. A similar amount of Arabs were displaced from Israel during the war. Today, the descendants of these people are still refugees in Lebanon, Syria, the West Bank, Jordan, and Gaza. Since 1948, most of the Arab countries surrounding Israel have refused to acknowledge its existence, and Israel has fought numerous defensive wars against them all.
It seems like most of the countries want to get rid of us. Sometimes I don't know if it's because we are a Jew or just because we are sitting on the lands.
The Jewish people live here, but still we have, every day we have to fight for our existence.
When you go surfing, you don't think about wars or problems, if it's your problems or the country problems.
You have waves in Israel. It's the most common reaction. Like, people can't believe that we have waves in Israel.
It's not perfect, it's not Hawaii or something like that, but it's still very fun here sometimes.
I've been surfing since my bar mitzvah.
I used to surf from after school until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night when, my mom used to come and pull me out with my ear outside and say, Yaniv, come out of the water, it's finished,
When there are waves, everybody is like, stop working, stop everything, on the waves, so let's go for it.
It's crowded, waves are pretty okay. We have days are really good. You gotta, witness them.
Surfing in Israel, it's not so easy because we are living in the Mediterranean. It's not an ocean. So we get waves from the wind, and we don't have a lot of winds here.
And when we go overseas, we appreciate the surf 10 times more than the locals probably.
That's the reason that Israeli guys, when they go outside Israel, they hungry to get waves, because we don't have here the waves. They just come right into the lineup and go, whoa, 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 and then makes the problems.
That people are taking the problems from outside, the attitude from outside, and putting it in the water. Because it's hard to erase who you are in 1 second.
I just want to surf good, get better. I will try to be the best, and I want to be the best, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Everything that I do in my life, it has to consider surfing into it. I mean, all my choices, all my lifestyle, everything. I don't know, it kind of ruined my life actually when I'm thinking about it.
Hani?
Yeah.
You ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah.
He's on the phone.
He's
always on the phone. My friends at home know me as not the fastest individual. Hani puts me to shame. He's slower than the snot, man. That guy is so slow. If Hani says it's going to be 10 minutes, it's going to be an hour. If he says an hour, it's going to be 3 hours. Can we just go? And he's sitting there at the water cooler just like having a coffee, drinking a water, talking on the phone. It's like, just do it, man. Just get it done.
יגאל, אני יכול לחזור לך עוד מעט, אחי? You come to be in Israeli with the driving.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See these things here on this is a blinker. They don't use them here.
No, it's adjustable.
It's a suggestion.
I remember the first time I met you, like 4 or 5 years ago. You scored like the perfect time for surfing while you were here.
Everybody says I'm so lucky when I come to Israel.
Like me, when I came to California, I was lucky.
I brought Hani out to California because I have some connections with shapers in the area, and I wanted him to get to spend some time with them to sharpen his skills. I just emailed him, hey Hani, who are your favorite shapers? And he said one of them was Merrick. Merrick is regarded as one of the best surfboard shapers in the world. The best surfers in the world ride his boards. Tom Curran, Taylor Knox, Rob Machado, Kelly Slater, Dane Reynolds. Many guys on tour want to ride an Merrick board.
Before I met Al, I was so stressed that I couldn't breathe. My stomach was like you're on your first date. I was afraid I wasn't able to speak.
It's been an honor to meet you.
Oh, thanks.
Most of my board is inspired by your shapes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Still learning. I think there's something about him that makes you be very comfortable, very relaxing. All of a sudden, I see Michael Andrews. I mean, the guy that taught me how to shape.
He taught you how to shape?
Yeah, it just makes me feel like grab them, take them with.
Yeah, it's like a candy store. Yeah.
Meeting Merrick, it encouraged me because you realize he's a human being, like me and you. But he's a great human being.
Hey guys, Brett, this is Hani. Hey, Hani. Hey. Good to meet you.
We went to eat lunch at his house where I met his son, Brit. He's a shaper too. And I thought that Brit's gonna choose to continue our legacy, like to continue the Channel Islands factory.
I always kind of had in the back of my mind when I was growing up that I would shape surfboards, and you know, my parents told me when I was a kid that someday they wanted to hand the business over to me, and I started teaching Bible studies. Kids were coming and giving their lives to God, and their lives were changing, and then that whole Bible study thing really started to grow.
I just feel it's so important that people find what they're passionate about and do that in their lives, because
I'll say for him, it's very good to let people going after the dream. And you can see that Brit went after his dream. And his dream wasn't to shape surfboards. He's more passionate about being a pastor, about shaping other stuff like people. Actually, I got something from you from Israel.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Gift.
Wow, that's nice. Wow, that's cool, honey. I might make that into a belt buckle.
They are an amazing family. My trip to California was insane. Meeting Merrick and Michael Andrews, yeah, together.
I think the day you met me, your life changed.
Since then, only blossoming. And
I've been surfing from 8 years old. My first wave was with my dad. When the wave comes, just throw me to the wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I stand up without paddling, and then finishing the wave on the sand. when you're a surfer, you're not in a country or a religion. You are a surfer, and it's not matter if you are in Israel, in Europe, in America. You find yourself happy to surf and get good vibes.
Curran used to be my hero as a surfer. For me, he's like one of the best surfers in Israel.
I started competing I was 14 years old, something like that, with children, and then junior, and then open. I went with the Israeli team to Europe and all over the world.
I met Oran since I was 12 and he was 13. We were flying together to a contest, to the European Championship, and we were sitting together in the airplane. I took the third place in the women division, and he took the third place in the junior division. It was the best contest the Israeli team ever had. We took the third place in Europe.
Curran won 7 Israeli championships. For me to work with a guy like Curran, it's like a dream come true.
I met Hani like 10 years ago. I saw that he has talent and good hands to do surfboard, and he understands the surfer and makes him exactly the thing that he needs.
I was always a bit of a scoundrel as a young surfer. I was poor, my family was poor. We're from a poor little tar paper shack at Mission Beach. And I was always scrounging things because I didn't have any money. I went to Hobie and I asked Hobie, hey, how about you give me a surfboard? I'm going to go to Israel. Paskowitz, listen, I don't want to hear any more of your crap. Well, sell me one cheap. Okay, take that one. There was a 10-6 double-ender balsa with fiberglass, and Hobie sold it to me for $35, and I took it to Israel. When I got there, there were waves, and the first guy I taught to surf was an Arab. Then I went to Tel Aviv, and that's where the lifeguards fell in love with it.
Dorian Paskowitz, he started everything with bringing the first surfboard. It was Frischman Beach and Hilton Beach. Just that short stretch of beach where everything pretty much started.
I'm Omar Ahwaji. I'm 27 years old. I'm Arab, Muslim. I was born in Jaffa. I've been surfing for 10 years. Hani shaped my first board. ברוב מדינת ישראל יש אנשים היהודים וגם ערבים. בתוך תוכם יש עדיין, לא כולם, יש עדיין את השנאה לערבים. יהודים לערבים וערבים ליהודים. כי זה מה שהמלחמה עשתה. זה מה שאנחנו רואים בטלוויזיה. זה מה שגורם לאנשים שיש שנאה בין אנשים. I don't look for the surfer if he's Jewish or Christian. We all surfer. No religion in the water. I have a big family in Gaza. I have seen them more than 10 years because all the wars here between Palestinians and Israelis and all the boards. So I wish to go to Gaza and surf there. It's my dream.
2007, Doc calls me from LA and tells me, listen, I read an article about 2 guys in Gaza and they have only 1 board. Gather as many boards as you can. We're going to Gaza. I'm coming tomorrow.
I gathered 14 surfboards from 4 different shapers. The first guy I went to was Hani, of course, he's one of my best friends.
Hani's a nice guy and gave us surfboards for the Arabs, and I just felt whatever we were up to, because it had his blessing, I felt it was blessed.
There was a guy who was supposed to wait for us, an officer at the border. No one was waiting for us, no one knew about it. But Doc, he convinced the guy to get in. He told him, listen, I have a friend on the other side, he needs these boards. Can you please help me? I'm a 90-year-old man, you know, I'm not gonna harm him or you in any way. So he gave him a kiss and hugged him, and just, it happened. And since then, we called it Surfing for Peace.
It's not a mix of waves and war. It's waves and war. There's only one enemy when a man steps into the ocean, and that's himself.
People ask me, what do you think, you're going to bring peace with these boards? I tell them no, but I'm surely going to make a few friends on the other side.
My grandfather, he was a fisherman. He really liked the ocean, and my grandmother also. So I think that the love to the ocean came from them. I was surfing every day since I was 10. It wasn't like a very popular sport in Israel, and for girls it wasn't popular at all. It was so much fun for me. I was like 12 hours a day inside the water. Even when I was at school, all my notebooks, always sketching waves.
Maya, she's amazing. I think she opened the path for all the Israeli surfing girls, because she was actually the first one.
I was competing in the Israeli contest, and it was my dream to become a professional surfer. And it was a way for me to travel out of Israel.
I met Maya Dauber at Huntington Beach when the Israeli surf team were doing so well. I was so proud of them, but they had no equipment, no supplies. Their wetsuits were ragged. And I was so impressed with her wonderful surfing skills and her deep devotion and love of surfing.
And he told me, you go to Hawaii? His vision was that I will become the first world champion from Israel.
She went out from Israel and did well. She got sponsored by Roxy. She went to Hawaii.
It was a dream that came true for me. Hani is very creative shaper. I really like his style, how he thinks. He's a great person. I'm teaching girls to surf for the last few years. I had a lot of hard experiences as a surfer girl. So I really want to help the young girls to do it good and to make it easier for them.
She's a coach for a lot of girls, but she teaches a lot of young kids how to surf. I think it's her way of carrying on the gift of surfing to people.
Maya Dauber taught me how to surf. She's a great teacher. She taught me everything I know. I'm surfing for half a year now, and since then I'm not getting off the board.
In Israel, it's very tough because when you turn like 18, and you finish school, high school, and you can go surf, these 4 years you have to go to the military. Both Maya and Ran did the army. It's kind of like throw you out from two different worlds, the surfing world and the army world. This is why their path was difficult than any other pro surfer in the world, I think.
The army is something that every citizen in Israel must do. If you live here, you need to go there. So I went there like everybody to do my duty. Israel needs so many soldiers because security. We are in the middle of all the Arab country. As you know, we don't have peace yet.
When you think about it, people that are 18, they're not allowed to drink in the US, but over here they're allowed to hold a gun.
I will go to the army like any other in this country. I think that it's really important.
When I go to the military, I'm not the person that want to go and shoot people.
I had 2 years I did in the army. I did some surfing contest out of Israel when I was inside the army.
It's a problem with all the professional sports. If the army can understand your career, you can keep on moving, but if not, you have a problem. Some people didn't like this idea that the soldiers need to surf a lot of hours and you don't know when the waves are calm. So it's not like a football game that you said 12 o'clock I'm going to have some practice or something.
מוכן? יאללה.
Israel is a very isolated surfing community, and professional surfers rarely visit there. So I started asking my Israeli friends, what if I brought Tom Curran over? What would you think?
If Tom Curran is really going to come to Israel, so that's going to be, I think, a big shock to everybody. I mean, not a shock as any bad thing, but in a very good way, because he's a legend.
For me, surfing, Tom Curran and Kelly Slater. This is the whole circle.
When I grew up, I had his photos in my room. I really like his style.
I went to California in '88 to the OP Pro to see the contest, and then I was so, wow, Tom Curran. We went to the same hotel, you know, just to hang around near him. Never thought that we're gonna meet in Israel. Unbelievable.
When I saw Tom Curran in the airport, was like, wow, he's already here.
Israel was kind of a place that I've always heard about, and a lot of history and culture, and then there's some good waves, and the climate is very similar to home. I've always heard it's worth the trip. nice shop. This one's nice. This is really nice curve here.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the world,
Yeah.
they all look the same, these surf factories.
How's it going, man?
How are you?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Jamie.
Hello.
How are you?
How long are you shaped for?
6 years.
6 years. And you have all hand shaped from
All hand
scratch?
shaped,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. I like your logo.
Thanks.
I like bees.
Ah. So here we keep all the mess.
Yeah? That's all right. You went to Al's shop, his factory.
Yeah.
Big factory.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
amazing.
It used to be like this, but now it's like, it's huge. I used to clean Al's shaping room when it was like this, you know, and pay off my boards.
So you can start cleaning it now.
Yeah.
In half an hour, I just felt very comfortable with him. He doesn't let you feel like he's above you. And he's a very funny guy.
The city knows that you had this shop here, right?
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I'm making a joke.
Why?
No, they don't know. This is somebody's house. We just, yeah. It's not an easy thing anywhere in the world to try to start a surf company. He's been doing it for quite a long time now. Just holding it together and nurturing it. He seems to be doing well with it.
Really excited to see Tom Curran. He's a legend.
Tom Curran is the best of surfing, man. You see all these guys, they saw his movies and they come into surf. Woo!
I was not really coming here on a surf trip. I just came from Australia. I had great waves over there, and so to be able to surf on this trip was a bonus.
How are you?
In addition to inviting Tom along, I invited my friend Barney from San Diego. Barney is a Messianic rabbi, which basically means he's Jewish, but he believes in Jesus.
When I was a Jewish guy and a lifelong surfer, for me it was a dream come true. It was bringing the best of both worlds together. It was quite an honor just to be the rabbi in the backseat of the van.
Who stopped the rain?
We just surfed with one of the local surfers, which is an Arabic kid. He got the best waves for sure, because he knew where to sit. I don't think he recognized Tom.
drove her crazy. But that was all in the past.
Tom is like all the articles that you read about him. He's very mellow, very quiet. No attitude, no show off. Personally, I really connect to those kind of people.
I got a pain in the gut. Ooh, doc, what do I got?
He's a very nice guy. He has patience. He has his world for himself, something special.
What we build today, so beautiful you see, better than we dreamed, and our worries left inside. Castle with no light, like heaven you do shine to me. All I want is you. Why do anything I would?
If you're going on a trip to Israel and you want to surf, there's a good chance that you won't even see a breaking wave. If there's a wind swell, it comes up in a matter of hours, and it can disappear in a matter of hours. Jerusalem's the epicenter of the world. It's where the entire world's focused on what are we going to do with Jerusalem.
I was born to hide with you, to be folded into where your heart, with my shirt and shoes, your mind's a scarf around my neck. Let's run.
It was really moving, you know, to see Jerusalem for the first time, to see it from the Mount of Olives, and to see all the people that come here pretty much every day of the year. And they come here on pilgrimages from all different faiths.
Hani, how do you say this in Hebrew?
Zechariah.
Zechariah? So this is the Hebrew prophet. And that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives. This is where Messiah will put his feet. As a Christian, I believe Jesus fulfilled what needed to be fulfilled for him to be Messiah. In Rabbinic Judaism, they do not. They're still waiting for the Messiah. And in Islam, it's a completely different teaching altogether. They believe Jesus is a prophet, but he's no more than a prophet. He's not the Messiah, and he's not the Son of God. This is where Yeshua gives this famous, what they call the Olivet Discourse, where he talks about the sign of his coming again and the sign of the end of the age.
Jerusalem goes all the way back to the promise to Abraham and the Torah and the center of Israel throughout the biblical period.
Jerusalem. It's a very high spiritual place for a lot of people.
Not everybody in Israel is a religious Jew. Some believe in God, some don't believe in God. There's a lot of atheists even in Israel, and a lot of Jews follow Eastern religion or a mixed match.
I don't believe in God because I don't have the need to believe it. I see all the bad things that come with it. I'm sure that if there were no religious at all, things better.
Yeah, I believe in God. I pray to God, I do good things, and then good things come to me. That's do right, and everything will be cool.
As a Messianic Jew, Jerusalem represents the center of our faith. It's the place where the temples were built, the Jewish temples, and where sacrifices were made for the atonement of sin. It is interesting that Jesus came to this very place and that he died. And it's really a picture of what he came for, to be a sacrifice for the sins of the entire world, Israel included. That's what the scriptures say.
The Wailing Wall is the western part of the retaining wall to the Temple Mount. The Jewish temple used to sit on top of that Temple Mount, but today the only remains is the western wall. The Dome of the Rock is built right where the Jewish temple used to be. You'll see Jews writing down their prayers. They stick them into the wall, and they're praying and binding prayers on their arms and on their heads. And they believe that it's the closest they can get to God.
Put it on, like this. Thank you.
Let's put it in the wall.
Reaches me. And your love.
It seems like a very small place, and to think that there's so much hinged on what happens to Jerusalem. It's such an important place.
Surfing with Tom was exciting. He's like one with the water, with the ocean, like one with the wave. It's like a dolphin.
Almost everywhere we went, word got out somehow. Tom Curran's in the land. I'd almost say it might have been Elijah coming before the Messiah or something. It's just like, that's how they looked at it.
I'm 37, and I actually grew on Tom surfing. To have him here in Israel, it's a really, for us, a piece of history.
It's not my favorite song of theirs, but you gotta hear the screaming parts. They're a little legendary.
People say I hate music, but I don't hate music. I actually like music. I just hate certain kinds of music. Tom Curran is a music buff. This band, Deep Purple, comes on and he cranks it up really loud. Oh, just made me want to die. No, wait, it gets better, it gets better. Here's the part, he starts singing along to this.
This is the worst car ride I've ever had in my life.
If he wasn't Tom Curran, I would have kicked him out of the van.
Oh my God.
So this is an apartment building that my friend Yaniv lives in. And I met Yaniv through surfing. His specific apartment building was in need of renovation as far as their bomb shelter. It's not underground, but it's at the bottom here, and it's double reinforced concrete. When we got here, it was a mess. No tile, no paint, no lights, no ventilation, no sewer, no toilets, and it was kind of used as a storage unit. Here in Nahariya is what they call the red zone, which basically means they have about 10 to 15 seconds to get into the bomb shelter when they hear the sirens. It's basically no time. It's almost too late. So in the bathroom, we put in a sewer line, and we have put a toilet and everything you need.
I couldn't really imagine living under constant threat of attack, and I would probably just move somewhere else. But if you grew up here, and if this is where you were from, it'd be hard to just go somewhere else because you're afraid. And I think that's why they want to stay.
As a Christian, I feel a debt of gratitude towards the Jewish people. They gave us the scriptures, all the scriptures. I think the greatest gift is that Jesus came through the Jewish line. The Bible teaches us that we should love them and respect them. And this is a practical way we can help.
Stand on the shores of the sight unseen, the substance of dwells in me, cause my natural eyes on the ghost skin deep, but the eyes of my heart anchor.
As a Christian, it's a very important place for us. It's the Holy Land. Everything that's in the Bible happened, around here or not far from here.
I took Tom to see the Sea of Galilee and Capernaum, and that specific area is where Jesus did most of his ministry.
It's very interesting to open the Bible and actually get a visual picture of what these places actually look like. It kind of makes it more alive in a way.
Hi, mate. Yeah. Jeremy Logan from Perth, Australia.
Oh, yeah, how are you?
People would see Tom and say, oh my gosh, it's Tom Curran. And he just talks to people and he gets pictures with people.
Tom, nice to meet you.
Who goes to Israel on a Bible land tour and runs into Tom Curran at Capernaum, Tom's trip was winding down, and he really wanted to go back to the Arab village to see the local kid that we surfed with before.
Just looking for this one kid that lives here and surfs at this point break. I noticed the kid surfs pretty good, and his board was kind of beat up. I had an extra board and don't really need it.
This was all Tom's idea, something he wanted to do, so we set out to find the kid. We went down to the fishing village, which is on the beach where we originally saw the kid, and we were asking, hey, do you know this kid? Obviously, we don't speak Arabic, and they spoke very little English, and it seemed like we were running into dead ends. Finally, this guy comes up who knows the kid's grandfather. The grandfather gets in the van with us and takes us into the Arab village. There was a little bit of tension in the car. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if they were going to receive us warmly. They were so warm and hospitable. They invited us to sit down with them and have tea and coffee. Finally, somebody gets a hold of the kid, and he comes walking down the street.
Hi. Tom. I have equipment, and I can give it to you.
They thought that Tom was trying to sell this kid the board.
How much you want? 2, 3?
No, because it's a gift.
Tom was trying to explain to them that he's trying to give it away. So he finally went back to the van for the board.
he got a lot from surfing, and I think he's all the time giving back to others. It's not that the kids realize who is the guy that gave him the board. For the kid, Tom is just another guy.
I hope you do good. It's a small fishing village, and there happens to be a really good reef break, one of the better waves in Israel, right there in that village. Maybe if they had more opportunity to surf and maybe do some contests, junior contests.
If you come
Nice
all
to meet
the
you.
time, there's some here, sleep here. If you
Okay,
come,
thank you. Very nice to meet you. I think it's good to see the sport grow in, any community. Bye-bye. Nice to meet you.
Shalom, everyone. Glad we could come together for our Passover Seder. Seder is the Hebrew word for order of service, order of the Passover dinner. For most Jews, all Jews, the Passover Seder reminds us of the liberation from Egypt.
ואנחנו חוגגים את החג המצות הזה, שיצאנו בחירות, שהיינו במצרים, היינו בעבדים במצרים.
The Israelis who are not religious, we know that once a year we have this all family gathering. For me, it's like once a year I meet my roots.
We have bitter herbs, remind us of the past slavery, the haroset, which is sweetness. So it's like sweetness of what God has done for us. The egg is about the sacrifices of the temple. The lamb, because that was the original sacrifice. The word Pesach is the lamb.
I think about what I have to go through, all the people. It seems like first it's Egypt, then it's Holocaust. I think it was very unique to share that with other people that not Jewish, for them to know what the Jewish people have been through.
There's a container with 3 matzot. At one point, the leader takes out the middle matzah, breaks it. That other half is now called the afikomen, and it is wrapped and hidden away. And later on after dinner, we search for that matzah, we find it, and then to this day, that afikomen is shared by everyone there.
As a Christian, when I sit down to the Passover Seder with my Jewish friends, it makes me think of Jesus' Last Supper, which was a Passover Seder.
At the Last Supper, the Last Seder, Yeshua took that middle matzah and broke it, the afikomen. As he passed it around to his Jewish disciples, he said, "Take this, it reminds you of my body, broken for you." Broken for our transgressions, even wrapped up and hidden away for a while, as it were, his burial, and that he would come again as the risen Messiah. Amen.
They have 4 cups of wine during the order of the meal, and the 3rd cup of wine, which is the cup of redemption, was the actual cup which Jesus explained to his disciples that this is my blood poured out for you.
I saw that Seder Pesach can talk to anybody, not just to the Jews, because you need to understand the meaning of the Seder, why you're doing that, and then everybody can know, can feel what it means like to do the Seder Pesach.
We all share the love to the ocean because we had this thing that we love to do together. So if I connect to someone because of that, we can connect other things. To surf with Tom was a dream that came true for me, especially when it was here in Israel.
Came to be in the wake of disaster. What love coming home? Sing
When I saw Tom surf and I met him personally, it was something very great for me. I couldn't sleep at night after because my mind was whoa, 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 whoa.
When you're seeing reports of Israel in the news and you see it as a very tense environment where people are always waiting and looking around the corner for the next act of terrorism or something, it's not the case for the whole country.
It was a very fulfilling week. Even though I know Tom sees in his life a lot of different cultures, different countries, different people, I think that he's going to take a lot from Israel.
Israel is one of my favorite places that I've ever been to. I would like to come back here again, maybe bring the family and spend a bit longer time here and go surfing again.
I believe and I think God gave the Jewish people the land because we are the chosen people. It's there, it's in the Bible.
The Bible says that he will regather Israel back into their ancestral homeland, and he's done it. Today, 6 million Jews are living in Israel. After nearly 2,000 years, they've come back to Israel. I don't think any other nation has ever done such a thing. It's a miracle.
Israel is a nation. It's a human nation. And it's not to say that we have to agree with every political decision, every military decision. A lot of Israelis debate these things. But when all's said and done, because of the scriptures, we have to say there is a right for the Jewish people to have a homeland in that ancient land. And there's plenty of room throughout the Middle East for all peoples, plenty of real estate for everyone actually to live in peace.
Unfortunately, I don't believe that there will be peace in Israel because of so many problems that we have in Israel and out of Israel.
I think one day we can have a peace here in Israel. You know, maybe another generation will come.
I think Doc says once, if everybody was surfers, we have peace. And I really hope that peace can happen, but we need that everybody surf first.
Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from me tongue. Jerusalem, if I forget you, let my right hand forget what it's supposed to do. Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from me tongue. Jerusalem.
I don't think surfing will bring peace to the Middle East, but there's a good chance to spend quality time with people that you don't share the same culture in the water. I think that can be helpful.
It's like the peace have to come from the inside of each person.
Yeshua promised that peace I give is not like the world. And I've experienced that personally, the peace of knowing why I'm here, knowing my Creator, and actually knowing that my sins are taken away. Everyone's hoping for peace in the Middle East. And the scriptures say that there will be peace in God's way through the Mashiach, the Messiah. Peace in the world and peace in our own lives.
My heart for Israel is that all Christians would find a really deep-seated love for the Jews, and that they would discover how Jewish our faith is.
Jerusalem, if I forget you, let my right hand forget what it's supposed to do. Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from me tongue. Jerusalem, if I forget you, 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 Jerusalem, oh, yeah, Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from it. Jerusalem, if I forget you, let my right hand forget what it's supposed to do. Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from it. Jerusalem, if I forget you. It's easy when I'm drifting down the river's edge. There's nothing going against me but my own head. Caught up in the rumors of the intellect, standing at the corner selling what comes next. And I'd rather swim home, rather swim home. There's trouble around the corner, I can see this man standing on a mole as we have bitten the hand. Rolling as a rapids, I can hear beyond, and rising as a water, cause we do no wrong. And I'd rather swim home, rather swim home. Wonder why we're single, well, I thought you knew. Judging by a mob, I don't know what to do. Even though I'm guilty, gonna say my prayers. Won't stand with me cause I see those stairs. And oh, why don't we go? Why don't we go? Selling what comes next, and I'd rather swim home, rather swim home. And I'd rather swim home, rather swim